done.
Right. For the makers out there that wonder how we do the zips in our products, this is one that's not stitched up all the way yet, but I'll just dismantle it. It's about to get stitched up shortly. This is a form that I make up that helps me to get the zip in place and everything first. Note it's got a little place for the internal zip to sit and that type of thing. So we'll go ahead and we'll put the outside cover on one here now, and that'll give you an idea what's involved with that. Note inside that it's not all stiff. There we learnt years ago that if you make it too stiff, it tends to wreck the zips, and this way you can put phones and all sorts of things inside there. It'll belly out. As you see, it's quite flexible. So this is what I'll attach now to that. Just got to make sure I've got it right. You have to stitch one end, because when the zip's open you can't get around that part on the sewing machine very well. So I'll join that bit there to that bit there, make sure, feel down the sides, everything's going right there. Before I go too far, pull around, make sure I can get close to halfway. Both sides, okay. This side could be a little better. Right. Make sure this side's well attached first, because you'll see in a second there's quite a bit of pressure I put on. When I do this side. Alright, up into the corner there, make sure I cover all where I've got glued up to. And this side I very often have to pull quite tight to get everything to go in where it's supposed to. Right, now once again I'll go around with the slicker and hammer. Make sure that's going to sit down on the frame and turn out right. Okay. And just like the one that we were looking at a second ago, that one's ready now to get stitched up, so we can take the frame out of it. We'll let it sit in for a few hours. And this is all my lovely wife's work. Does all the internals ahead for me before I put it together. Okay, so that can go back in there and help to, it won't be ready to stitch for a little while because the glue is still a bit fresh and you don't want to get the glue all over the needle. Okay, looks good. So that goes over to the pile to be stitched. And now, once again we've got a pink one here. He's ready to put the zip into. So the framework goes in there. It goes there. Push that into place. Make sure the zipper pull goes into its hole. Okay, now all going well. I'll put the frame on, which helps to hold everything in place. Make sure that's sitting in the centre. Right, everything tight. Make sure it's sitting where it should be. Okay. Now, to make it extra secure, I'll put that block on, which helps to, it's sitting a bit crooked. Okay. Right, and one other little thing I've been doing, I've got these clamps which are quite good for, just put a little bit there, this one, a little bit there, that's just to make sure everything's going to stay quite well closed. Right, now starting from the side where the zip is, that signifies the end I've got to start with the zip. That's a frame that I put together for gluing up the zip, just makes it easier to get the edge where I want. That's where the zipper pull goes into, and does that. Okay, going around with attaching the zipper, start off by just getting that in the middle there, swing that over, right, get that down there where it should be at the start. Now, everything going well, these will be sitting together tightly. Come up here and right. Now I just put a little bit of pressure on there to try and make sure that both sides are tightly in place. Right, I can take that one off now. Put that one out of the way. Come up to here. Once again, look for the middle. And a little bit low on this side here. And try and see if we can creep that up a bit higher. Right, okay. That's better. Right, under there. Now we just go along in a few sections. Like most times when you're showing somebody, things start playing up. Right, and coming fairly close to where those bends have got to go. We'll come back to that in a second once we get the rest of it down. Okay, get that out of the way. Now, a bit like the first time, bring that over to here, into the middle, down into the centre. Right, make sure that stays stuck. Now we want to make sure here that's good and firm. Quite often there's a bit of bulk there and you've got to push it down fairly hard to make sure you're going to get it somewhere near right. Okay, at that stage I'll just go around and make sure that things are going to stay where they should. Right, you can take that out of the way. Right, now for the corners, when you're doing these corner parts, it's important to make everything come into the middle so that you can get nice pleating that doesn't show up much. So generally don't try and do the whole thing in one hit. Come around with your pointer, break it up into sections. Where you have the higher part, try and come into the middle of that. The eyes are not so good these days, so I'll come along and try and drag everything into the right spot. After this is all down and tight, I'll put another little bit of glue on the top here to try and make sure that's not going to come undone. Right, that's that side. When you do the opposite side, same story, and pretty much we'll keep going. And that's one there, all done, glued up, and waiting for the outer cover and that one to go on, similar to what we just did a few minutes ago. So that's how we do it.